Choosing a baby name is not like buying a shirt or trying a new app. It is something your child may carry for life. So parents tend to be very careful what they name their babies. They often want a name that feels warm, familiar, and easy to live with. But they also worry about picking a name that may turn out to be just a fad, a passing fad. What if a name feels perfect now, but later sounds like part of a passing trend? Hi, I'm Sumit Malik, a researcher at the University of Amsterdam, and welcome to The Devil Wears Data, where I break down interesting research fields. Now, researchers at the University of Pennsylvania and Pompeu Fabra, Spain, studied baby names in France and the US. They looked at more than a century of data on first name popularity. So they went to the name registers and looked at more than 100 years of data. They wanted to understand whether when a name rises quickly in popularity, people start to avoid it later. They used baby names here for their research because compared with other products, technology, or media, outside influences matter less. That makes it easier to focus on the social effects of popularity itself. What they found was really interesting. Names that rose quickly in popularity were also dropped sooner, even after accounting for obvious differences, such as how popular those names became overall. In other words, those that went quickly in a hype cycle were also abandoned by the expecting parents. Now, the researchers also ran a survey of more than 600 expecting American parents. In the survey, expecting parents were less interested in names that had recently surged in popularity. So rapid growth does not just look like success. It can also create doubt. Parents were more likely to see fast rising names as short-lived fads or hype. And that perception helped explain why they were less willing to choose these names. So the backlash seems tied to meaning and identity, not just raw popularity. This is important because people were not only asking, is this name popular? They were also asking, what does choosing this name say about me and my kid? When a name shoots up in popularity, people may read that speed as a warning sign. If it looks like a fad, parents worry it will age badly, so they become less willing to use it. In other words, the problem is not the name itself or even just its popularity. It's the speed of adoption, because that changes the name's symbolic value. Now, the practical lesson here is this. If you are choosing a name, do not just ask whether it is popular. Ask how it became popular. A name with slower, steadier growth may age better than the one that suddenly explodes in popularity. So the big takeaway for today is this. Things do not always fail because too many people eventually like them. Sometimes they fail because they became popular too fast, and that changes how later people interpret them. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching and joining me on Devil Wears Data. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.